Travis Wayne Goodsell. I just did a 50-plus minute video about the Jewish prophecies, how to identify them and lift the Christian goggles from your eyes to see them. But I'm expecting this one to be a shorter video because there's a church news article to cover here. So, Saturday in Jerusalem, or in Israel, Hamas did the worst attack on the Jews since World War II. And Israel's defending themselves, and thus all hell's breaking loose. As Palestinians and Islamists all throughout the world are in denial that Hamas did anything wrong, and are blaming the Jews for being the first cause, and not acknowledging that they are terrorists. Islam has revealed themselves as terrorists, regardless of their nationality or where they are living. All Islam are terrorists now, because they are in denial of what they did wrong to the Jews. They are obviously anti-Semites. Muhammad claimed to be the man like Moses. Went to the top of the mountain? No. That's the Jewish Christ. Muhammad did what Constantine did for Christians. Replaced the Jews. And so, now that we are in Armageddon, as nobody seemed to recognize that Russia attacking Ukraine was Armageddon, we now have what everybody thinks is it. And so the world was drawing their lines as to who they were supporting, whether they are terrorists or whether they are in defense of the lives of Jews as human beings. Except for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I did the videos condemning the church for not speaking out against Hamas, let alone just speaking out. And so then, a couple days later, they then came out with the first presidency statement in which they do not call out Hamas as terrorists, naming them by name, and saying that they stand with the Jews. And as a result, a rabbi here in Utah was betrayed as he gave a statement to which he thought that the church was the Jews' biggest ally. And it turns out that because of the wording of the first presidency statement, the church betrayed the Jews. The church has a BYU Jerusalem Center, and that's among my popular videos at the moment. Because everybody knows that the Christian interpretation is that Jesus is coming back a second time to finish what he failed to complete during his days, which is the Jewish prophecy, that he has to do it in his days, not in a second coming attempt for failing the first time. That's why the Jews do not recognize Jesus as the Christ. But the Gospels are not Christian documents. They were stolen by Christians and changed into literal history, erasing the prophecies of the Jews. But nonetheless, Christians now believe that Jesus is coming in the second coming during the midst of the war in Jerusalem, and will destroy everybody, overthrow the governments to be the King of Kings, Lord of Lords for a millennium. And then the surviving Jews who go through the earthquake valley of the Mount of Olives will then realize that Trinitarian Jesus is true. Unless you're Mormon, then it's non-Trinitarian Jesus is true, and they'll be converted from their heathen, wicked Jewish ways to become Christian, whether Mormon Christian or Christian Christian, depending on which denomination of Christianity it is. Will it be the Methodists, Presbyterians, Baptists, Pentecostals, Catholics? Which one? Is it Greek Orthodox? Russian Orthodox? Which Jesus will it be? But nonetheless, that's the belief. And so the BYU Jerusalem Center is right there on the Mount of Olives, on the north side, so that the earthquake valley will miss it. They knew where to put it. And so, as of today, the church is reporting that apparently this war is it. And it's going to escalate beyond Gaza. And so, the students and faculty at BYU Jerusalem Center are being relocated to a facility in Greece. Or they just say in Greece. It doesn't really confirm that it's BYU Greece. I don't think they have one, do they? Let's find out. Evacuation of 93 students, faculty, and staff. Okay, so it's 2 students, then you have janitors, receptionists, okay, so apparently there's a location in Greece where their studies will continue, but it doesn't say where in Greece. Security update. You're not a government agency. Service couples will relocate to Greece. You mean missionaries? Oh, you're not allowed to minister in Israel? So you call yourself a service missionary instead to fool the Jews. Yeah, that'll work. Just like baptizing Holocaust Jews. That's been a big scandal in the church. Did you know about that? But the church isn't anti-Semites. No way. We're thinking celestially. The Jews will thank us after they're dead. And so, yeah. News of relocation came one day after. The first presidency statement. Apparently, the first presidency statement has caused such hatred towards the church that they now fear for the safety of the 93 students and faculty at the Jerusalem Center that they now have to flee to Greece. It's not a relocation. And again, they're quoting it. It doesn't. Yep. Because of the first presidency statement, the people at the Jerusalem Center have to flee for their lives.